This flight appeared completely normal until something unexpected happened. For decades, the ultimate flight plan, a true unbroken link across the globe, seemed completely out of reach. At first, everything was perfectly on track to shatter the final boundary of commercial aviation. But then, an unexpected roadblock forced the entire industry to hold its breath. Seconds later, everything changed, and the world's most ambitious aviation project suddenly hit a massive hurdle.
Welcome back to Air Flight Space, where we explore aviation events, air safety investigations, industry developments, and the stories shaping our skies. Today, we're taking a closer look at a story attracting major attention in aviation. What happens when the ultimate flight plan is forced to wait? We are diving deep into the logistical realities of ultra-long-haul flight and uncovering why this highly anticipated milestone suddenly shifted. To truly understand the scale of what is happening right now, we have to look at the ambition of the mission itself. This is Project Sunrise, Qantas's unprecedented, record-breaking initiative to operate non-stop flights from the east coast of Australia directly into New York and London. We're talking about connecting two opposite sides of the planet with a single continuous flight. The entire aviation world has been watching this closely, waiting to see if modern engineering could finally conquer this vast geographical divide.
Notice the sheer scale of the time savings we're talking about here. Under current operations, passengers are forced into grueling one-stop flights, dealing with layovers, terminal transfers, and massive fatigue. Project Sunrise changes the game entirely with direct flights, shaving approximately 4 full hours off the total journey duration. 4 hours in aviation is an absolute eternity. It's a monumental leap in operational efficiency. But this was only the beginning. To actually pull this off, the hardware has to be flawless. Back in May 2022, everything seemed completely normal and highly optimistic. Qantas officially ordered a fleet of 12 specialized Airbus A350-1000ULRs. These are ultra-long-range variants, specifically chosen, modified, and purchased to conquer this exact punishing route. With 12 of these massive machines on the order books, the airline was locking in its future. The plan was set.
But then, something felt unusual. Whispers started circulating in the industry, initially picked up by Bloomberg, before Qantas formally confirmed the reality. A sudden timeline shift had occurred. Wait, this changes everything. In the highly synchronized world of commercial aviation, a timeline shift on a flagship project of this magnitude sends shockwaves through the entire global network. What happened next shocked investigators and analysts alike.
Looking closely at how this builds across the delivery timeline, we started in May 2022 with that massive order. The original, highly publicized target for delivery was the end of 2026. But the new reality? A delayed delivery timeline pushing the very first aircraft to April 2027. Qantas hasn't explicitly pointed the finger in their official statements, but ongoing global supply chain challenges are heavily suspected as the root cause, and this detail changes everything for the launch window. Fortunately, they project a return to the original delivery schedule by November 2027.
When a massive delay is announced, it begs a very physical, grounded question. Keep watching, because the final detail explains everything. So where is the first aircraft right now? If the delivery isn't happening until April 2027, what is the actual status of the very first A350-1000ULR meant to carry the Sunrise banner? Let's track its exact current position.
The physical ground truth is actually incredible. Over in Toulouse, France, the aircraft isn't just a blueprint, it exists. Final assembly is completely finished. Right now, the aircraft painting is actively underway. And once it rolls out of the paint shop, it will immediately commence a rigorous 2 months of flight testing in the skies over Toulouse. The machine is real and it's gearing up to prove its endurance.
But the situation is far from over, because having a plane in Europe is only half the battle. Behind the scenes in Australia, a massive parallel operation is unfolding right now. Qantas pilots are already deep into training inside A350 simulators in Sydney. But even more critically, the airline is currently battling through the complex process of securing local regulatory approvals for commercial service. Before a single passenger steps on board, Australian regulators must sign off on absolutely every aspect of this unprecedented operation.
And that brings us to a major reveal. We've talked about the machine and the regulators, but what happens to the human body when you lock it inside an aluminum tube for nearly a full day? Inside the ultra-long-haul cabin, absolutely everything has to be rethought. The physiological toll of extreme flight hours is a massive hurdle that engineering alone cannot solve. What designers realized is that density had to be sacrificed for survival and comfort. Qantas has structured the aircraft interior design to feature a highly premium-heavy configuration. This isn't just about luxury, it's a biological necessity. The entire cabin is specifically designed around maximizing passenger comfort to mitigate the grueling effects of these extreme flight hours. Fewer people, much more space.
This brilliantly illustrates the lengths they're going to. They have engineered a dedicated well-being zone located right between the premium economy and economy cabins. This isn't just a lounge for drinks, it's a physical recovery area equipped with stretch handles and on-screen exercise programs. It's a direct acknowledgement that human beings literally need to move to survive a flight this long safely.
Despite the sudden timeline shift and the incredible logistical hurdles, Qantas is actively working to reassure the industry. They stated, the next 4 aircraft are expected to follow in quick succession. So while the Vanguard aircraft takes the hit and slips to April 2027, the recovery strategy is aggressive. They're banking on the supply chain stabilizing enough to catch up entirely by the end of that same year.
So what happens next? The suspense isn't over yet. The final routes and the official launch timeline are scheduled to be heavily detailed and announced this June. That's when the true roadmap for Project Sunrise will be locked in, giving passengers and aviation analysts the exact dates they've been waiting for. The delay is real, but the mission is still very much alive. So what can we actually learn from this story? Pushing the absolute boundaries of global transport isn't just about building a plane that can fly further. It's about navigating global supply chains, satisfying strict local regulators, and completely redesigning how humans exist in the sky for 20-plus hours. The final frontier is as much a test of logistics as it is of human endurance. Thanks for watching Airflight Space. If you found this video informative, leave a like. Subscribe for more aviation investigations and stories. Share your thoughts below. I regularly read and interact with the community. See you in the next video.